Hey everyone, what's up? My name is Mal and I'm a non-binary certified personal trainer. Now I specialize in helping folks prepare physically and mentally before gender affirming top surgery. Also help folks post-op get their mobility back, which is their range of motion, so that they can get back to the activities they love as soon as possible. I'm a firm believer in prehabilitation, and really what that is preparing your body physically, well, and your mind mentally, before entering any sort of procedure. Now, in this case, this is a top surgery. The reason I'm such a firm believer in prehab is because I went through the top surgery process myself, and my recovery was very, very challenging. And what I learned through that whole experience was that I didn't do enough of the right type of exercises before I went into this procedure. And I do believe it is a big reason why my recovery was so challenging. So this is why I'm spreading this information, sharing this around, because I just believe that you put in the right work beforehand, it can make everything just so much smoother. A lot of things are out of your control when it comes to surgery, but this is actually something that you have full control over. You can put in the time, you can put in the work beforehand if you truly want to. I'm not saying that if you don't do the right work beforehand that you're going to have a terrible time post-op. That's not what I'm saying. But I've worked with hundreds of clients beforehand, and pretty much 100% of them have said that these exercises have helped them immensely, and that's the reason why they recovered so quickly. With all that being said, I'm going to go over a few exercises that you should definitely do before top surgery. Now, you should start these as soon as possible. I would not start these like a week before your surgery. I would start as early as you can. If you didn't know, I have a 6-week prehabilitation program called Align and Shine 2.0 that is fully guided. You can follow along with me for 6 weeks to help prepare you for gender affirming top surgery. We'll go through mobility exercises, we'll go through strength exercises, we'll go through core strengthening exercises, all the things that you need to do to feel confident entering this big procedure. Let's go over these exercises, you guys. I hope you like them. So the next movement here is called open book. I love this exercise because it helps unlock the tight mid spine that most of us with poor posture really struggle from. So this will help get some blood flow, get the muscles activated in and around that mid back, and just overall improve posture the more consistent we are with this exercise. Now, for this movement, you can set up a few different ways. Now, the first way you can set up is just come into a regular side lying position. You're more than welcome to stack something under your head, and you're also welcome to stack something in between your knees if that feels more comfortable. Okay, you always want to be comfortable in these exercises. You don't want to be in any pain or an immense amount of discomfort. Then you're going to bring your arms out in front of you like this. Now, if this position does not feel very good for you, you're more than welcome to straighten that bottom leg and then keep this top leg bent and prop it up on like a foam roller or a yoga block. Okay, and then same thing, you're gonna start off like this. Now, I'm gonna start off with my knees bent, just like so. And there's a few critical pieces to this exercise. Now, what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your top arm, and keeping that top arm straight, you're gonna open it all the way up. Okay, with your head, you're going to follow that arm all the way as far back as you can. Now, super important critical piece is you are trying to keep this bottom knee in contact with the floor. So I don't want to go far and then lift the knees up at all. Okay, super important that we try to keep that knee in contact. Now, as I do this, if to go a little bit farther, I'm going to want to push this a little bit, and potentially my knees are going to lift off. I just want you to go as far as you can while keeping that knee in contact with the floor. So if you cannot touch the ground on the other side of you, that is more than okay. You're going to try to improve your range of motion a little bit more every single time. So let's do 1 minute per side of this exercise. I just want you to know there's a few different variations of this movement, but today we are just going to start with this specific one. So let's lay on our side, find a comfortable position for yourself, and I'm going to start a minute. All you have to do is follow along with me. So hands together, straight arm up and over as we take a nice exhale, following that top hand with our head. Keep the knee in contact with the floor, and then let's slowly close the book. So we're gonna open the book, taking a nice exhale as we follow that top arm with our head, and close the book. Good. If it feels good to open up and kind of hold this for about 5 seconds or so, you're more than welcome to do that. Exhaling and trying to push that range of motion a little bit further every time. Opening up. Knee stays in contact with the floor. Even though I want to lift it, I am not letting it. I'm just being super, super aware. Closing my eyes if I need to. And not letting my hand fall higher than my shoulder as I open up that arm. And let's close that book and take a nice rest. Now we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So let's switch sides now. Nice and together. And again, setting up in a side lying position. Remember, you can prop something in between your knees if that feels better, or you can prop that top leg up on a foam roller or yoga block. And then remember, you can have some cushions under your head or a yoga block as well, because I know for some people it doesn't feel very good to hold your head up. So let's do a minute on this side as well, my friends, and let's get it started in 3, 2, and 1. So straight arm up and over, exhaling as I open up, keeping that bottom knee in contact with the floor. I should feel a nice kind of stretch through my arm, through that mid back potentially, and slightly in my low back, maybe the obliques on the side here, all super, super normal. Good. Remember, a tiny bit of discomfort is okay, but you do not want pain. If you are pushing through pain, I need you to stop right now and either avoid this exercise or pick another exercise that you know feels good for your body. You can hold open for 5 seconds or so, feeling a nice stretch in and around my shoulder blades. Feeling a nice stretch through my arm because my biceps are quite sore today. Good. And let's take a rest there, my friends. Nicely done. That was the open book exercise. Good work. Do the wall angel. Now I love this movement because it helps reverse the effects of poor posture as it strengthens your upper back, your shoulders, opens up the tight chest, and all the great things. So if you struggle with poor posture, this exercise is for you. So you can do this standing or you can do this exercise seated. You do need access to a wall and you're gonna sit all the way up against your wall. If you're doing this standing, you're more than welcome to keep your feet away, but you really need to make sure that your tailbone and your whole back and head are supported and touching the wall. So you can do this with your legs crossed if you're doing this seated, or you can keep them slightly bent like this. It's really whatever is most comfortable. Now we're gonna take our arms and we're gonna open them up so they're touching the wall. Now some people will struggle with this right away and they might not be able to touch the wall at all. Do the best you can with this, okay? You can do this exercise on the floor on your back with your arms out to the side. Sometimes for people this works better. So if you are one of those people, take note right now. I just want to say you are more than welcome to do that because gravity does help you a little bit. I would say that's a scaling option for this exercise. So if this option just feels really inaccessible for you, again, you're more than welcome to lay on your back on the floor with your arms open and use the floor as your wall, let's say. So I'm opening up my arms here. I'm trying to make contact with the wall with the backs of my hands and the backs of my forearms. And then while keeping my low back, mid back, and head in contact with the wall, I'm gonna slide those arms up as far as I can without allowing this to happen. Once I slide them up, I'm gonna bring them back down. Bringing my hands to about shoulder height. Okay, if I went any lower, I can't really do it. A very common thing that's going to happen in this exercise for a lot of people, especially in the beginning, is the tendency to want to flare your ribs out to make this exercise a lot easier. Now, if I were to pop my ribs out, then my mid and lower back are not touching the wall anymore, and it really makes this exercise quite simple. Now, what I want you to do is try to avoid that as best as you can. So really think about drawing those ribs down so they stay stacked over top of your pelvis, and you're keeping that low back and mid back in contact with the wall. Okay, it's gonna make it a lot more challenging. So with all that being said, we are going to do 3 sets of 10 reps of this exercise. So all you have to do is follow along with me. I'll make sure we get through this together. So let's open those arms up right now. Trying to stay in contact with the wall as best as we can. I'm drawing those ribs under me so that my low back stays in contact with the wall. And then I'm sliding those arms up as far as I can. And then I come back down. It's a small little movement, but super effective. You should feel some activation through those shoulders, through the upper back, maybe in and around through that neck a little bit. We do not want to be in pain when we do this. Just like any of the exercises, a little bit of like discomfort as in muscles are working, so this is challenging, is what I mean, is normal, but you just really don't want to be in an immense amount of pain. And if you are, you need to stop. Sliding those arms all the way up. Now let's use our breath to our advantage. So let's exhale as we slide those arms up and then come back down. And let's slide them up. Sliding those arms as a guide, using that wall as a guide. And I believe we have one more. Good. Whew, let's take a little rest there. Definitely feeling some activation in that upper back, in through my shoulders, all super, super normal. So once we've done one set of that, we're gonna take a small little rest. You can rest anywhere from 30 seconds to up to 3 minutes. You do what feels good for you. Is gonna be better in no time. All right, let's go over the shoulder dislocation exercise. I love this exercise because it helps unlock our probably tight chest due to poor posture. A lot of us have very tight muscle fibers in our pectoralis muscles. So this is a really excellent way to kind of open that up and stretch out those fibers. The second reason I love this drill is that it's just a really good way to kind of lube up the whole shoulder joint as a whole and just get things feeling a bit better. Now, for this exercise, you are going to need like the end of a broomstick. That's what I'm using. Other types of equipment that you can use that work would be like PVC piping. And another one that works is just a longer resistance band. So to start with this exercise, we're gonna start with a nice wide grip. Now, while keeping our arms nice and straight, we're gonna bring them up overhead and then try your best to pass that broomstick or piping behind your back. Okay, we're trying to avoid bending the elbows. And then you're gonna come all the way back to the starting position. If you can't get all the way around, you're gonna go as far back as you can, again, pain-free range of motion, and then come back to the start. And then every time you go for another repetition, try your best to go a little bit further. So we're gonna do this for the next minute together. If you're feeling that this is quite easy, you can bring your hands a little bit closer together. You're more than welcome to do this standing, or you can do this kneeling. So here we go, my friends. Nice wide grip, straight arms up and over, passing that piping or broomstick behind our back, straight arms up and over. As we bring the pipe overhead, we should be exhaling, feeling a nice stretch through the chest muscles in and around the armpits, especially if there is some restrictions there, especially if your chest muscles are tight from, the rounded shoulder posture. Good. Keeping the ribs stacked over top of the pelvis as we do this. Remember, you are more than welcome to do this standing. I am just doing this kneeling for the purposes of staying within the frame. Good. Keep the head stacked over the body as we do this. Good. We're going nice and slow. Keep those arms nice and straight. All the way up. Reach, reach, reach. Exhaling. Good. We have one more rep to go, my friends. All the way up. And all the way back. Good. Take a rest there. All right, my friends, that is the shoulder dislocation exercise. Nice work. Now, if you've enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe so I can keep making free and accessible videos like this. I appreciate you guys so much. You are awesome.